All right, I'm at 6.
He's ready to go.
I'll call the March 16th, 2026 meeting to order. Roll call.
Ashley Allers. Here. Abby Hansen.
Here.
John Hawkins. John Marble.
Here.
Megan McFarland.
Here. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
1, petitions, communications, requests. This is a time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda, no more than 5 minutes per person. Except in the case of emergency, the city council will not take any action at this meeting, but may ask city staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Does anybody have anything?
You can go to the podium. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Bo Claver. I'm a candidate for the Republican primary of the House District 55 here in Iowa. I decided to enter the race this last week when Representative Latham decided she was not going to be running anymore. I'm from Camera, Iowa here in the county. I am a graduate of Webster City High School in 2022. I'm currently a 6th generation farmer on my small family operation. I also operate a small drone business, a precision drone application business called BK Air here in Hamilton County. I have learned all facets of operating a small business within the state. I'm a big advocate for agriculture and rural communities within our state. And I'm also, my goals would be to get more young farmers involved within our state. I believe Iowa's #1 economic driver is agriculture, and I believe it's very important to our state. And I'm also a big advocate of the Choose Iowa program, creating local and healthy food for our communities and our rural areas. Thank you very much for letting me speak. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
2, consent agenda. The following items have been deemed to be non-controversial routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, it will be considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. A, minutes of March 2nd. B, claims in the fund list. C, reports electric water for February. D, report police. E, report for fire. F, inspection report. G, agenda statement for street closures. Hamilton County Fair Parade, July 21st, same staging and parade route as last year. Junk Fest, Saturday, May 23rd, 500 through 700 of 2nd, 600 through 700 of Wilson and Des Moines Street. And then market nights, June 4th through August 27th, 500 through 700 2nd, and 600 through 700 Des Moines. H, recommend approval for issuance of beer or liquor license by the Iowa Department of Commerce for the following. Approve 5-day Class C retail alcohol license for St. Thomas Aquinas effective April 29th, 2026. Approve special Class C retail alcohol license for Hamilton County Speedway, TTMM Promotions, 1200 Bluff Street. I is an appointment of Trish Barnefus to the Civil Service Commission for a 4-year term ending April 1st, 2030. And J, council committee report.
Question on I, to whoever it may. How is the decision to appoint Trish? Were there other candidates? Did it come from the commission? How was that made?
Terrific question. I believe that this has been an existing appointee who was open to being reappointed when contacted about their term expiring.
Motion to approve collectively?
All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, that's my job. General agenda. A, second reading of a proposed ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the March 2026 addition to the Webster City Riverview Urban Renewal Area pursuant to section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa, requesting to waive the third reading.
Good evening. So this item came before you back on, well, most recently in November 2025 to approve an expansion at that time. It then came before you again on February 2nd. There was a public hearing and then also the first reading with the approval of the first reading on March 2nd. So this is expanding again down Superior Street, and it's picking up 3 additional parcels. So those parcels, just for some memory, is the old dock stop next to Yesway on Second Street or on Superior Street, the old Kmart building, and then 407 Close Drive, which is also the old dock stop, truck stop. So it would be those 2 dock stop parcels and then the old Kmart building. We're requesting this because really with this expansion, it's to eliminate blight and then also provide additional investment into this area, our Riverview TIF area. And it also was brought to our attention that it was something that our legal counsel recommended when we were talking to them about the crude oil development agreement. So it's just, again, before you tonight for a second reading and the request to waive the third reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have to waive first.
You have a motion to waive the third?
I think we have to have a motion to waive first, right?
No, you have that was the motion to approve the second.
Second reading. I don't need a motion to waive the third.
A motion to waive the third reading. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 That motion.
The motion to pass and adopt ordinance.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearing on proposed development agreement with Brew Oil LLC.
Okay, so good evening again. The city council is going to hold this public, well, are we in the public hearing?
Let me
Public
back
hearing.
up first.
You are in the public hearing.
Yes, we are. I apologize.
Okay.
There is no written.
Are there any written or oral objections? That have been received, okay,
No.
can you open the hearing?
Oh, I opened the hearing.
Thank you.
Sorry, my first one.
Congratulations.
There's no objections.
Is
So
hearing
nothing
closed?
nothing's come in at all.
Nope.
I thought.
No, is there any oral objections? Okay, close the hearing.
Sorry. Proceed.
Okay, so this again was brought before you guys on March 2nd. To adopt this resolution to hold a public hearing tonight. The city is proposing to enter this development agreement with Brew Oil LLC, which is at the 407 Close Drive location, the old dock stop. This would be for the renovation of the existing building and for use in the business. The business is for a truck stop, a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation. The company agrees to complete the construction of the project by October 26th of 2026. However, they are on track to complete much sooner than that, and that is their goal, but the agreement does state the October 26th date. And they also agreed to maintain ownership and operate that truck stop 24 hours per day, 7 days a week, and to have 2 fast casual dining options with a minimum of 12 hours per day, 7 days a week for the fast food operations.
Have they signed contracts yet on the casuals? Because it's gone back and forth on different ones.
Yep, so they do have agreements with both Dunkin' Donuts and Arby's. So instead of the Subway, it would be an Arby's now. And they do have those signed agreements and contracts. The total amount of payments under this agreement shall not exceed $1.2 million. And the payments are structured based on an annual percentage with the incremental property taxes. The first 3 years would be 100% towards back to the developer. The next 3 years would be 95% to the developer, 5% back to the city. And then the last portion of the 10-year agreement would be 90-10 split. Prior to funding any payments, the city would withhold administrative amounts of $15,000 or lesser. So tonight, the recommendation is just for the city council to approve the resolution authorizing the development agreement with Brew Oil.
Zach, can you open that up again, please?
Yep, sir.
Go to the bottom. It's 15K overall, or is it 15K? Prior to funding any payments, withholding the administrative.
It's not to exceed.
Does the lesser of 15,000 or the actual cost?
Where are you at? Prior to funding any payments, the city will withhold an administrative amount equal to the lesser 15 or the annual cost increase.
Yeah.
Correct, that's to cover the costs
That is
of the
covered.
preparation of the documents
Well,
involved.
it's a not to exceed of it.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So just a few, just an overview of the agreement, the company's obligating to maintain the truck stop. Operated 24 hours, 7 days a week, except for reasonable closures. They're also obligating themselves to maintain 2 fast casual restaurants, be open to customers, and to complete the plans that they have submitted to the city. So in exchange for that, the incentive is being offered through this development agreement. It will not exceed 1.2 million. Again, for the public's benefit, they do not create the tax value to collect $1.2 million. They do not earn that. This is investment that they're making in the property, redeveloping it, and then will be reimbursed to them twice a year in 20 payments over the next 10 years when taxes are receipted in from the county and then redistributed to the company.
And the developer has already submitted permits to them. There's the underground tanks already.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I don't think I read that. I didn't read B. That one's B.
Mhm.
Resolution approving development agreement with Brew Oil LLC, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Did we do it?
We did. That was a
Yeah,
public hearing.
okay, okay. I didn't know.
It was a little rough, but.
I was so confused.
We're getting.
C is a second reading of a proposed ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster City, Iowa, 2019 by amending Chapter 22 to add Division 3 pertaining to false fire alarms.
Council, thank you for your time again this evening. This is just a second reading of what we spoke on last time in regards to adding civil penalty for multiple false alarms. We have gone through and changed the charge per alarm at 4 and 5, increasing them to $250 and $350 as requested, and just looking again for a second approval. Or if there's any questions that have come up since last time we discussed it.
Can we waive the third and just let's go?
Yeah, pass this one first.
Right, that's what I'm
Second reading.
So I'm gonna motion to approve this.
Second.
All those in favor? Say
Aye. A motion to waive the third reading.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Motion to
Motion.
pass and adopt.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
How about that, Bob? We had it together there.
Got it all, John. Got it right here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck, thanks for doing that.
D is the second reading of an ordinance amending the city code of the City of Webster City, Iowa, 2019 by replacing Chapter 48, Article 2, Division 2, Section 48.56, establishing new rates to be charged for electrical energy sold by the City of Webster City, Iowa.
Good evening. So, this is the second reading of the proposed new electric rate ordinance. This ordinance is asking for 3 significant increases within the next few months to offset a 10.5% increase the city received on purchase power from Corn Belt. So this proposal has the first increase of 5% to begin with the April 1st billings. The second increase of 4% on January 1 of 2027. And the third increase of 2% on July 1, 2027. And then beginning July 1, 2028 would have the annual 1% that the current ordinance states. So the same attachments that were given to you last meeting are provided again. The first one was just the chart just showing what the increase would look like using the new rates with actual 2025 kilowatt usages. That overall total amount increase estimated to about $848,000, a little over. The following charts, then we have one for residential and we have one for commercial. I had given you like what I thought was a residential average last time. I did do another report and the actual average was much lower than the averages of us council and few employee sampling that we did. We had one particular that I used that had the highest average of anybody in Webster City, so that really threw that off. So I did.
Hopefully that wasn't my house.
Pretty sure he's not here tonight. Not saying any names. Okay. No, he knows it, I think. All right, so anyways, in saying that, the average was closer to 700 kilowatt. It was a little under 700, but since we have the 700 on here. I did, so that was better, because I think last week I said it was more like, our average was more like a little bit, it was quite a bit, about double that, so. And then on the, I didn't get another average on the commercial single phase. The criteria to dwindle that down to just the single phase was a little tougher, so I do apologize, so I'm gonna go with the sampling that we had last week or 2 weeks ago. And that was about 5,300. So it'd be on the bottom between the 5,000 and 6,000 there. And then the last attachment is the proposed budget, which has a 5-year forecast. And this does include 2 additional 3% rate increases on purchase power. I believe Corn Belt originally received, correct me if I'm wrong, John, 18% increase from Basin. So, you know, they have passed on the 10.4 thus far, or 10.5. So we did include those in case we see more increases down the road. I do want to also, mention that this rate increase is for the sole purpose of offsetting the purchase power increase. So it's not that we have heavy capital in this budget. It's not that we had huge increasing operational costs. It is just to pass on the increase that we did receive. I do also want to mention that our average line loss for calendar year 2025 was very minimal. We were at 1.82%, which also means that we are selling 98% of what we're purchasing. So, if those usages would fluctuate from, the average that I'm using, it's going to go on both revenue and expense side equally. So that's a pretty good line loss. Oh, any questions?
Well, I mean, obviously our hands are fairly tied in this matter. So I think, anecdotally, unscientifically, during the past couple of weeks, I think, our constituents are not happy. But there's not a lot, I think, can do about it. I hate to say it again, that we're being held hostage, but it's kind of, our hands are tied. You know, I think we've looked at other areas where we can maybe help, but there's really nothing here we can at this point do in my mind. I mean, it stinks. John, what's your analysis moving forward? As far as down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've experienced an increase in the cost of something that we're buying. And we are in a contract with that provider. We can talk about, different options going forward. I think for the public's benefit, they're going to experience a 5% rate increase, pending your adoption of this ordinance. I think that we're going to see how that plays out. We're including the 4% for next January because we believe that that'll be necessary to balance the fund. We're going to hear from Corn Belt at the end of this year to see if we're going to get any more of that 18%. And I think when I look across the 6 or 7 years that are in the forecast and averaged out the increases, it will be with these, and then last year's increase, about a 2.5% increase every year. Not ideal, not something that we plan for, but something that we're going to continue to analyze. I think we're going to take some time this year to take a look at our overall cost per kilowatt hour, see how we compare against our comparables, bring that to the council. If that is out of line in a degree that you're not comfortable with, we can take recommendations to address that. We did take on debt for the Reisner substation that we need to support. We are thin on our capital improvements for the next 5 years, thinner than I believe we'll likely be. So, meaningful adjustments in terms of rate management and rate control for things we can't control in terms of power costs are going to come in the results of cuts to the electric utility and cuts to the city organization. And that's not that's not an attempt to. It's not a fear tactic. It's not a attempt to over dramatize the situation. That's just what I believe the reality is of our situation.
Yeah, I mean, the facts are the facts.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about drawing down reserves. Well, that's one-time money. That's not going to be there forever. That's not going to solve an ongoing problem. So you could talk about thinning out capital. We've already sort of thinned the capital out because we made a couple major investments the last couple of years. That's the situation. Money doesn't lie.
How many more years?
4
contract?
Plenty. Long hauling.
Are those normal terms for a contract for the?
Oh, for you're talking about the Corn Belt
Yeah.
contract. The number of years, as I believe was discussed last meeting, I think it was a 50-year contract made in 2015. So let's say we have 40 years left of it. I think both Zach and I have taken a hard look at some of those things and elements of that contract where we may not be happy of it. At some point in time, the city was, right, when they adopted it. So I want to respect the decisions with which, those folks entered into the contract. It gives us a close relationship with the power provider, and they've made investments in the system as part of that contract of which they're obligated for. I think that always open to analyzing that as well when we go into the sort of rate comparison and seeing what options are before us. I have not, and I did a little bit of that this year and just did not get to a place that I was comfortable bringing to the council anything that would not be costly from a legal perspective. And with a, you know, what I believe potentially, I can't guarantee the outcomes of. So until I get to a situation where, I'm comfortable in a situation like that, you know, uh, I haven't brought forward a recommendation, but Zach and I will continue to take a look at that and see what options might be available to us. I just don't think that that's going to be the silver bullet, at least in the immediate term. But
Yeah, and to answer your question too, Ashley, it was, I know a few years back, when Julie said the contract was signed 2005 or 2005 or 2010.
I thought it was 2015, but I might be
Before
wrong.
that,
Okay.
yeah, before my time. But they, when we looked at, they originally, when they wrote it, they stuck to, I think, 45 years, and then it was 5-year increments after that. And Jody can, but I know that we looked at other cities at that time, and there was like some cities that are way even farther beyond that. And the idea of the longer contract at the time was it was based on their depreciation schedules, and that we get a lower rate if we extend the contract out longer. So I know, actually, believe it or not, we're on a shorter term than our fellow cities that are a part of it as well. So, and that's because at that time, when I got involved too, and others, it was like, we're not pushing this any longer than we need to at this point. So
I mean, the ask was 75, right?
70.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was in the paper.
It was 70 years.
I mean, thank you.
Well, I don't think, no,
No,
I'm just saying, I mean, it's a discussion of how can you possibly go that far out when you don't know what's out there?
Right.
Power's gonna look a lot different in, that many years, so.
Yeah, I guess I have the motion to approve. I don't know that. I can really do. Second.
All those in favor?
I.
Aye.
E is a resolution in support of submission of an application to the Hometown Pride Program.
Staff is going to request deferral of this matter until Mr. Maxey can be in attendance at the meeting to present it to the council. This is an undertaking on behalf of the Growth Partnership, and believe that he would be best prepared to present on it.
I spoke with him today for quite a while to get background.
That being said, if you are prepared and have received the background and would like to consider the resolution,
I would
feel free
defer
to.
I've done some homework on it, and, I think from our standpoint, from a city standpoint, the ask is not a lot of financial commitment, and there could be significant upside to it. Only 2 towns in Hamilton County have not committed to it yet, and it's I believe it's Williams and Hammer. Yes, thank you. And the county jumped on board last week with a positive. What I asked Adi to do was try to find some anecdotal from some of the participants now. If you go on it's a program that is run out of Keep Iowa Beautiful. And so it's been significantly positive for some of those that are involved, but I'd like to find more anecdotal positives than the propaganda that's on their website. I mean, I mean that with all due respect. I mean, we're going to get positives that are on their website, but it's I think the upside is significant. If you want to wait for Adi, that's fine. I think it's actually.
The council should act as you desire on this matter. It is on the agenda. I just thought you may want some more presentation on the matter because it's an initiative of the Hamilton County Growth Partnership.
I'm very comfortable moving forward based on the research I've done, but I would defer to my fellow councilman.
I'd like to wait for Adi.
I do too. I just cause. Yeah, I want some more information. Do we know when he can?
Yeah, when did you
No,
say
we'll
that?
just wait till he can come. Again, it's the council's will. I'm
The issue is there is a deadline coming up to apply for it. So, and I think the deadline to apply, the longer we wait, the more difficult, and it's a very, there's a lot of counties going for it. So, the longer we wait, I think the issue is, can we get the application in time?
We know when it's due, that's not included in here.
May.
I know
Leave it.
very little about the program. Actually, the announcements are made by Keep Iowa Beautiful every May. So the work has to be done in advance of that.
Yeah, he told me there was a deadline in May, but that may be, so.
So
You know, Ariel?
it says applications are due May 15th,
No.
2026 at 5 p.m.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
So probably don't have time to.
Can he make it
I'm sure he can.
soon? Yeah.
And I think he said at the county meeting that he can apply now because he already had 6 of the 9 signed up, right?
Yeah, he wants to have.
Yeah, so he technically could apply now, even if the
Yeah,
deadline.
his thing to me, in the conversation I had trying to get more information, was he does see it key that Webster City is, I mean, he can move on without it. But not having Webster City part of it
Right.
would be probably not great. So,
He also mentioned that it would be a $500 commitment rather than $750 annually because of the partnership with Webster City and the growth partnership too. So that's just another thing that he had mentioned today, but he plans to have Stanhope adopt this on the 24th, and then as they stated, Kimbrough and Williams have not yet adopted it.
So it's $500 a year for 5
I'm
years.
fine with proceeding. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think I think from a fund, we have a lot of upside, very little to
Yeah,
lose.
that's,
I would agree.
yeah.
So I would like to move forward.
Yeah.
So
Offer a motion.
motion to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So.
All those in favor?
Aye.